No clients, no revenue, no direction. In 2021, Gerald was starting everything and finishing nothing. And here's the thank you note I just wrote to him and why every single one of those starts mattered. Back in 2021, my life was a mess. I was just listening to a podcast with Seth Godin, and Seth Godin's writing this new book, and it's all about strategy. And he's talking about how one of the most important things to do is to look back on your past and recognize some of the skills that you might have gained that didn't make sense then, but make perfect sense now. And as I look back on my life back in 2021, really nothing was making sense. I was in a job that I hated. I was in an apartment that I could not afford. I had a side hustle, which I loved doing, but I was totally inept at marketing. So I was barely generating any revenue. And I was starting a brand new course again. And this one was to learn how to publish books. And I hadn't published a book yet. And the other most significant thing that I was doing too is I was starting to do some voiceover work. I was given a couple of jobs to do for voiceover. And I had put up a couple of auditions on Amazon for ACX training. So I was starting all of these things, but nothing was coming together and nothing was making any sense. And again, no clients, no revenue. It just seemed like this hodgepodge of things. And I remember people clearly telling me, Gerald, pick something, pick one thing and stick with it. But the truth is at that time, I wouldn't necessarily say that I was building anything, but I was starting things. And I was building that muscle of starting things. You see, I had written a book a few years before, and now I was going from being an author to a publisher. So I was learning how to work with different freelancers and bring them together on a project and bring that project across the finish line. And yeah, I was just at the beginning of that process at that time, but eventually I did bring that book across the finish line. And this year I went on and I ended up publishing 5 more books this past year. The other thing I also did at that time is I started doing voiceover work. And again, I just got thrown a couple of jobs and people said that I had a good voice. So I put up a profile on Upwork and I put up a profile on Amazon ACX. That's the platform for Audible, for voiceover, for book narrating on Audible. And again, it was this hodgepodge of things that I was just kind of like spitting, throwing spaghetti at the wall and trying to get something to stick. But, starting something, but not really having no idea what I was doing and no follow through with it as well either. Because again, the no revenue part. So at this time, none of this looked like any sort of progress. Like I said, I wasn't building anything. None of this looked like progress, yet all of it was. Which brings me back to the thank you note. What I've been doing lately is I've been doing a love letter to myself every morning. So this morning I wrote a thank you note to myself. I wrote a thank you note saying, thank you for starting back in 2021. Just for starting. And I know that it didn't look like I knew what I was doing because I didn't know what I was doing. And it didn't look like I was building anything because I wasn't building anything, but I was starting. Publishing that book was the start of me starting to build another YouTube channel. And a couple years later, now I have this YouTube channel right here, Gerald Money Drunk. I was also learning how to work with different freelancers, put together and publish a book. And from there, I went on and published more books this year. I started another YouTube channel, which finally gave me the courage to actually step in front of the camera and share my story. Not someone else's story, not a pen name's story, but my own story, my own truth. And in sharing that story, this has given me so much. It has begun to help me express myself, to give myself my voice back, and to be able to share with you not only the things that didn't work in the past, and they didn't necessarily not work in the past, but it's been working towards something. And today I have 907 views on this channel. And today I have $52.95 in savings, which I haven't had in years. And today I have this channel, Gerald Money Drunk. And there is a link down in the description where you can book a free call with me. That Calendly link didn't exist either. All of these things are building towards something, and they matter to this community that I'm trying to create, to this self-expression that I'm trying to share, these painful moments that I've experienced in my past. And maybe you've had some of these painful moments too. But all of this is coming together in a way where I can begin to empower people to just start. Whether you think it's going in one direction or not, or you don't know what you're doing, just to start. Because all of those starts matter. And building these skills one on top of each other, I don't know where it's all going to lead, but right now, today, I have this message to give to you. And I have a way for you to get in contact with me so that we maybe I can help you take that first step. If this video meant anything to you, if this video was meaningful to you, go ahead and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button so you can get more videos just like this to help you take that next step along your journey. Join me on this journey as I continue to get money sober. And watch this next video right here, which talks about how just getting started makes all the difference in the world.